I'm proud that since taking office in 2016, London's air quality has improved dramatically. In 2024, London met the legal limit for air quality for the first time since monitoring began, around 200 years earlier than projected when I first became mayor in 2016. As not everyone will be aware, it's worth setting out that ozone is not emitted directly. Instead, it forms when pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, NOx, and volatile organic compounds, VOCs, react in the presence of sunlight. Therefore, as hotter, sunnier summers become more common, the conditions that favour ozone formation are increasing, reinforcing the need to tackle the climate emergency and achieve a net zero London. Tackling ozone, therefore, requires us to tackle NOx emissions. The US has already reduced transport-related NOx emissions and is also expected to reduce vehicle-derived non-methane volatile organic compound emissions through cleaner vehicle technologies and electrification. Recent analysis shows nitrogen dioxide concentrations were down by 41% between 2019 and 2024, reflecting the impact of all our policies to reduce emissions, particularly from road transport. However, I know more needs to be done. As part of my efforts to meet WHO-recommended air quality guidelines, we'll continue our efforts to reduce NOx and VOCs emissions by leading the transition to cleaner, more sustainable travel in London and reducing emissions from heating and construction. It means delivering more electric vehicle charge points on top of the over 30,000 already installed across the capital. It means using non-road mobile machinery low-emission zones to continue reducing emissions from construction. It means more zero-emission buses, and it means supporting boroughs to tackle local air pollution hotspots through schemes funded by the additional £6 million I've just announced from my air quality fund. As ozone pollution is also influenced by emissions transported from outside London, I'll also work with the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, and its international partners to address this transboundary challenge. It's also important we continue to warn Londoners when periods of particularly bad air pollution are forecast. And that's why we issued high pollution alerts for ozone on the 21st and 23rd of June, activated our air quality alert system so residents, schools and hospital and GP surgeries had advance notice and could take steps to protect themselves and support those most vulnerable to poor air quality. And we'll continue to have a comprehensive approach to this problem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for acknowledging that more needs to be done about this issue. Now, dangerous levels of ozone are formed from existing pollution on long, hot, sunny days, and we're having a lot of those at the moment. It pollutes the whole city and has serious heart and lung health consequences, which is why it matters. Ella Roberta Adukisi-Debra's death showed us how important warnings are, and I'm very glad that you issue them. But I worry that people don't understand or even see the warnings. They're unclear on the health risks, and they don't know that emissions from driving worsen ozone pollution. I think we need to improve the warnings, so instead of moderate or high, we could, for example, use amber or red, which would bring it in line with weather and heat warnings that people are familiar with. So would you be willing to review the ozone warnings that you give to ensure that they're better understood by Londoners?
Chair, the member, as always, makes a really good point about are these user-friendly. Can I take this away in terms of would traffic light systems make it easier for people to understand? And also, as you were speaking, it occurred to me we should see if there are more ways to amplify. At the moment, we use the underground announcements, the roadside displays, press statements, social media, and we've got lots of emails. But is there more we can be doing? People are told when there's high pollen count.
Yeah, it's about getting people to understand also how ozone works, because it's a different kind of pollution from the others. I mean, often you get moderate ozone pollution hitting London before you get to the higher episodes, and that the risk of that worsens with heat. So do you think you could extend your warnings and issue advice on moderate or amber days as well, so people get that build-up?
I suspect this is like a number of areas where she's a better expert than I am. Can I take that away in terms of what I don't want to do is confuse Londoners?
Absolutely, take it away. I've got another idea for you as well. When Paris has an ozone warning, I've literally been reading French press releases, it is issued over a wider region, wider than London. Their messaging is similar to yours, but it also reduces speed limits and asks people specifically to avoid driving at all. Would you have a look at what they're doing in Paris and consider taking similar steps here in London?
I'm surprised the member says there's a wider area, because the actual area covered by the mayor's tiny.
It's the Ile-de-France.
Yeah,
so that's an area bigger than Greater London.
You mean Greater Paris? Let me take that away. And again, we're always happy to learn from other cities if they're doing things in a more effective way.
Thank you. And finally, this last week we saw a study on excess deaths from recent heat waves. And I'm just wondering if you could commission some research to get better understanding of the health impacts of ozone, including during recent heat waves.
Well, actually, the London School of Tropics at Hygiene and Imperial College did a world-leading piece of work in terms of excess deaths. I think they calculated in 2 months alone 2,700 excess deaths. I'm keen not to do research when others are doing it. What we can do is look into what additional research may need to be commissioned, and so I don't want experts here to duplicate what others have done. But we are looking at what more needs to be done. I think the issue of research is I think now comprehensive. The issue is how we use the evidence we know clearly exists for action to be taken. So I'm more interested in that. But I'll ask my team to look into any suggestions she has in terms of what more we can do to avoid a situation where this time next year we're talking about thousands of people dying who need not have died.
Thank you. And I think with these rising heat episodes, it's really important we do this. Thank you very much.